What about when it comes to M&A, Berin? I mean, Trump has indicated he's not a fan of the AT&T Time Warner measure, but, you know, at best, what he believes, no one really knows. It's been a little confusing. There's been other analysis that Trump could be good for M&A, that a Sprint T-Mobile could merge in this era if they wanted to. How do you think the FCC, a Trump FCC, will weigh in on M&A issues?
There's really no way to tell. We have to wait to see who becomes chairman and who takes over antitrust at the Department of Justice. But the people who actually follow these things are, in general, skeptical of the need for government intervention and are generally more willing to let deals go through. And then if there are issues, if there are real demonstrated harms to consumers, to come up with conditions that would really respond to those instead of either blocking deals or using conditions just to regulate without going through the normal process as the Obama administration has done. So I think probably we'll see deals more likely to go through, but it depends. And if you saw a wild card chairman come in that might follow through on what Trump has tweeted about, maybe things would be different, but there's no way to tell at this point.
Silicon Valley, Larry, is in an interesting position, having been so outspoken against Donald Trump, and yet these are some of the most valuable companies in the world. The Internet Association, which represents Amazon, Google, Netflix, sent a letter to Trump asking and urging him to keep the Internet open, to keep it a level playing field. How do you see the relationship between Trump and the tech industry playing out? Do you think Trump risks alienating them even further and to their detriment, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, I hope not. You know, again, we don't really know. We have so little to go on. There was no real tech policy position by the Trump candidacy the way there was for Secretary Clinton. So most of this is a lot of speculation. But I think what we can hope for is that Republicans, you know, are free trade. Silicon Valley likes things to be left unregulated, and hopefully those things will align and the sort of character differences will work themselves out.
Berin, one thing we do potentially know is Trump's stance on immigration. We don't know necessarily how that would impact things like the H-1B visa issue, but that is something that obviously, you know, tech companies very much rely on. That there are a lot of skilled immigrant workers that work at technology companies in Silicon Valley. You know, aside from M&A, aside from the FCC, you know, what are the sort of clues that you're looking at based on what Trump has said so far about how he will approach the tech industry?
Well, again, it's anybody's guess. There seems to be a certain battle going on for Trump's soul. And on the one hand, you have the Mike Pence traditional Republicans who are free trade and in favor of innovation and understand that high-skilled immigration is what makes San Francisco and the tech center work, and it's what brings talented, smart people to the United States. And then on the other hand, you know, Steve Bannon has said things about there being too many Asians in the United States, and that maybe it's a problem that for our civic society that we need to do something about immigration. I mean, it's really unclear, and I am not confident that we know what will happen, but we're gonna have to see how this transition shakes out and what happens right now in this very tumultuous process. And for people who are wondering when we'll get some comfort, when we'll know something, historically, these major appointments in the tech sector end up happening pretty close to inauguration. I mean, for example, the FCC chairman was not named by Obama until January 12th. In 2009. So it could be a while, and then issues like immigration, you know, that's not an issue that is going to be determined by a single appointment. That's going to play out in Congress, and that could take a very long time. But if I were concerned about that, I would wait and see how much the administration is willing to work with or even defer to Republicans on the Hill, because they get issues like immigration, and if they're the ones driving the agenda, it's going to work out well.